Let's say you're lucky enough to have a great sized backyard, or maybe a little patch of grass outside of your back door, or even a few window boxes out front. Whatever your situation is, if you're thinking about plants and flowers this summer, you're going to want to know what to plant and where. And today I'm joined by Mike Saulle of the Center Ridge Garden Center. How are you?
Good.
You're going to
How are
explain
you?
it all to me, right?
I hope so.
I know nothing about this sort of stuff. Tell me a basic question. What's the difference between annuals and perennials?
Starting with the basics, generally annuals are plants that you plant once a year. They give you great color all summer long.
Okay.
And then that's it. Every year you have to plant them. Perennials are plants that die back to a root, but they come back the next year.
So, okay, tell me which plants are good for the sun.
Well, fortunately, we're in the sun area, so pretty much everything in this area. You have catmint. Over to my left here, you have coreopsis right behind it. Foxglove, another good plant.
Okay, let's go the opposite way. Which ones are good for the shade then?
We're gonna have to go into the shade.
All right.
Everything along this wall does shade. These are actually all hostas along here.
Wow.
That is a perfect example of a perennial.
Great.
Hostas die right back to a root. They come right back, and look at the great colors.
Tell me about planting now. How important is the distance between each plant?
It really depends on the plant and the growth habit of that plant. In hostas, for example, hostas are used either as an individual accent plant or can be used as a border plant. And if it's used as a border plant, a good rule of thumb would be somewhere around 2 feet apart.
Okay, well, I hear, annuals are the big thing right now. Do you want to show me some examples that you have here?
Right this way. It is annual season.
Okay, come on, let's go.
Okay, here we are in the annual section.
Great, now which ones are good for the sun, which ones are good for the shade?
Well, this whole area are plants that can tolerate the shade.
Okay.
And the first thing that you want to really know is your exposure to light.
Right.
That's important. It's important to know how much sun you're getting in that particular area.
Okay, so then how much sun do these flowers actually need?
They can take up to a little bit more than half a day of sun, which generally would be in the front of your house if you got morning sun.
What about the actual planting process? How far apart should each flower be?
It depends on the style that you wanted to plant, whether you plant in groups or row planting.
So it's up to the person. It's their own personal style.
A good spacing for these is probably 6 to 12 inches from plant to plant.
Now, when's the best time to do your planting? Is there a specific month during the summer?
You need to wait, especially with the tender plants, you need to wait until your last frost date is passed. And depending on where you live, it can be from mid-May till the end of May.
So I hear you have some more shade plants that you want to show me?
In the greenhouse.
Great, let's go.
Okay, Christina, there are some plants in here that really mix well with some of the stuff I showed you outside.
Now, are planters really popular nowadays?
Planters are very popular. A lot of people are spending a lot of time now outdoors. People are putting patios in. Planters are red hot right now.
Give me just some general caring tips. I'm a novice at this whole thing. What can I do just to care for my plants?
Well, when you're doing your container gardening, it's important that you have good drainage and use a nice lightweight potting soil. It's also important that you fertilize. Feeding with a liquid fertilizer once a week will get you great results.
Well, great. Thank you so much. I think we all learned some great green thumb tips here today. And if you're ready to get started, just remember there's so many different plants and flowers that'll solve any gardening situation.